All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Uh, Theme, I had you on mute, so let me just shut you there. You put you back. There we go.
I had
Um.
myself on mute
Oh, okay.
too. Okay,
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Great. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Tommy and Theme, for joining me as we continue our second episode on the Godfather movie. Um. So I want to start off by just saying hello to everyone in the chat. We want to acknowledge them because it's important they understand that we want them here. And I certainly appreciate them being here. We all do. So, hello to Chris Trock, Arlene, Antonella. Uh, let's see, Tammy. Let's see who else is in the chat. Maureen, Todd Father's here. A bunch of our friends are here. I think I hit everybody so far. I'm sure more people are joining. We're up to 12 already. So,
Trock, Gina.
Hello, Maureen, Arlene, Tammy, Trocky.
Nice.
Gina, how are you?
How was that girl playing the Godfather theme for Joshua last night?
Wonderful.
How amazing was that? That made my
very
whole
impressive.
night.
Very impressive.
It was great.
Wow. That was one of the best exits I've seen, entrances I've seen in a long time. That was cool.
So I'm just gonna start off with a little intro here. What we're doing today, we are talking about the second scene in the original Godfather movie, which is Connie's wedding. The Godfather's daughter is recently married, and it picks up. We don't see the actual ceremony, but we see the reception, and she's marrying someone by the name of Carlo Rizzi. And as we learned from the movie, he's not really the best guy in the around, but he is a Sicilian, I guess, or he's at least Italian, and he is Sonny. Actually, Sonny Corleone is the one that introduces her to her future husband. So anyway, so that's the background, and as we said in the prior episode, that the main tradition here is we see the Godfather meeting with people on the day of the wedding. People who come to him and ask for favors during the reception. They're invited to the reception, and they come in and speak to him and ask him for favors, whatever. Some of them he grants, I'm assuming, and some of them he grants not exactly what they want, which is what we saw on the first one, which was what not the baker, the undertaker. He wanted a favor. He got something done. He got justice. He didn't get exactly what he wanted. But but anyway, so let's start by talking about the scene itself, because, and I'll tell you from the book does not go anywhere near the detail or describe the detail of the wedding itself. You get much more out of the movie and the experience of the cultural aspects of the wedding than you do in the book. The book doesn't go into that at all.
That's so interesting that you say that, and because last week it was the opposite.
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
all right.
The book don't go into the dancing and singing like they do in the movie.
Right.
Ain't it ALV? You don't see all that. You don't get all that.
Okay.
They don't describe that. They do not describe that at all. They don't describe the song. They don't describe the dancing. They don't describe any of that stuff, that's going on that you see with your eyes in the movie.
Yep.
But basically what it is, it's a backyard wedding, right? And Tommy, you've spoken about this before. They're wealthy. The Corleones are wealthy, obviously, but it's a backyard wedding is what this is. It's in the at the Godfather's home is where this takes place. And I know you've said about that, Tommy, how this was a common thing in our culture back in the day. Yeah. People would get married and have the reception in their yard.
Yep. It wasn't so glamorous as to go to a ritzy ballroom. It was literally a backyard wedding. Mm-hmm. And guess what? You didn't see in there. You didn't see the food. Mm-hmm. You didn't see fancy food and all that stuff that came with generations to follow.
Right.
That was
Right.
so they used to call them ham and cheese weddings. Actually, is what my mother would tell me. They were called ham and cheese weddings, basically, and they would just throw sandwiches around. And now, obviously, he made it big and took it to the next level, but still kept it with that traditional, intimate backyard setting.
Yeah. Right.
I haven't heard ham and cheese wedding in so long. Are you kidding me?
I got you, buddy. We got that
As
culture.
soon as I told my father I was getting married, ham and cheese and peanuts for everybody.
You see what we're doing here, guys? This is what's making this beautiful. We're pulling culture out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Yep. The other thing I noticed is that in that scene, and I don't know if you notice this, but if you watch the scene enough, and I've watched it so many times, is you see there's a huge shot. There's like a faraway shot of the actual wedding where everyone's meandering around, they're dancing, etc. And there's lights in the background, and the lights above everything remind me of the feast at St. Anthony's in Silver Lake. It's like, or at or in New York City at the what is it, the St.
San Gennaro.
San Gennaro, right? San Gennaro, right? It's the same lighting scheme up on those decorative lights are over the stage where the band is playing. It's exactly the same stuff.
Now, did you ever think this? You know what those lights were? You know what all those lights were? They weren't for the band. They weren't for the wedding. Those were the security lights for the property.
Oh,
Don't you guys remember when the shooting took place later on? When they had tried to hit Michael? And all them lights went all the way around the property. Check that scene out.
Mm-hmm.
Those were all their security lights they had around the whole property. Think about it. Check it out.
Yeah. Well, in the book, I tell you, this is another thing about the book. The book describes how they all live in a compound, that the Godfather owns a compound of multiple buildings, and they all live in those buildings. You don't, like, Sonny has a house there. Tom Hagen has a house there, but they're all enclosed in a compound. And you don't get that from the movie as much. You don't see where Sonny lives. You don't see where Tom Hagen lives. You just see the main house where the Godfather lives. But it also goes to the fact of something that we grew up with, is this families would live together. Families would not venture far from each other, right? I grew up in a multi-family house, which was family. It was family on the multi floors, right? And if you weren't in the same house, they were in the neighborhood. They were right there. They were on a street. They were in the next street over. You didn't venture far. You stayed close to your family.
It's funny you said that, because my mom's mother and her sister and Al lived downstairs. Nana lived upstairs. Then you went to my house where we lived downstairs and my mom's sister lived upstairs.
Right.
Then eventually our next move was to my Nana's and my father's mother, and we all lived in a mansion, 3-story mansion that she owned.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible. Like you said, that's where everything took place, at that house. The casino and the base, all the way. It was beautiful. So
I lived in the basement. My mother lived on the main floor. My grandparents lived on the top floor.
The basement was the kitchen. The kitchen, casino / everything. Yep. The hangout.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and obviously in The Godfather, it's for the it's more, well, it's a dual. I think it's a dual meaning. It's the cultural sense of them staying together, and it's also for the protection. They need to protect themselves from their enemies. Yes. So it has a dual connotation in The Godfather.
It's incredible the way you break that down, because and you got to go back to the core of the culture of how he came here. He still kept it simple.
Right.
There was nothing glamorous right there. Office, They didn't show anything. No marble and granite. None of that.
Right.
Office, backyard, and the houses, and
Yeah.
simple.
That's the way they were back then, though. Too.
But
They didn't
were wealthy, but
flash.
it's simple. Yeah.
You got to remember, they didn't flash. They didn't want to be seen. Them guys.
Right. And the perfect example is Carlo Gambino of an actual gangster, right? That's what Corleone, one of the people that Vito Corleone was modeled after, the way he conducted himself, right? Out of the limelight. Didn't want to be in the limelight, wanted to be reserved and quiet and not known.
Right.
He doesn't want to be known.
Right.
As opposed to others who went to the spotlight, and saw it as a celebrity, saw it as this is,
It's funny you said that. Who was the other guy that was one of the biggest influences on that movie from New York City? A street guy.
Yeah, Clemenza's
No.
guy or Luca's guy, right?
He was a street guy, and he had one of the biggest influences on that movie.
Oh, Joe Colombo. Yeah.
Colombo. Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah. Yep.
Just he got the word. I hate the word mafia. Took him right out of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Colombo.
Right.
I mean, think about it.
Sure.
Back then, they're like Italian civil rights.
Yes.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Nobody
Yes.
heard the
Yes.
Italian civil rights. Here comes
Yeah.
Joe Colombo with 500,000 people. You're discriminating against us.
Mhm.
Oh, they dropped it right out of the movie.
Right.
So
So let's just pause for a minute. I just want to say hi to some people.
Go ahead.
TT has joined us. Bambi has joined us. I see Just Chillin' joined us. Thank you guys. Arm Distance. Thank you guys. Carmela. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. I don't know if I missed anyone. I hope I didn't. But
you get Antonella.
Antonella, yes. Antonella's here. Joe Della just came in. Welcome, Joe.
PT's here too.
Yep.
Tammy, Carmela. Okay. Gina's here too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. In case you didn't miss them.
No, yeah. So now the cornerstone of the reception is obviously the stage and the band. Now, it's a live band, right? And that a lot of that has to do with the timing of the time period. There weren't DJs in the 1945. There weren't DJs doing weddings. It wasn't that type of thing. But that live band thing, I believe, has carried on even into modern days in Italian weddings. Because when I got married, we had a DJ, but we also had a small band that played Italian songs. Like they were there specifically to play Italian songs. My father-in-law wanted them and paid for them to be there because he wanted to dance with my wife to certain Italian songs. So that was purely cultural that we included them. I wouldn't have included them. I would not. That wasn't part of my plan or even my wife's plan. It was something that he wanted, and it was added to the wedding reception.
ALV, they played the Tarantella 3 times at my wedding. You think that's a little fucking crazy? I mean, my father wanted it.
Yeah.
He requested it 3 times. They played, and everybody went bananas all 3 times. But you're right. It's what they want to do at these weddings, too.
I had the opposite. I had the full band for the whole wedding, and then the DJ to fill in when we're sitting down to eat. And so they wanted a full band the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that whole band.
Yeah.
But
Andrea, welcome, Andrea. I see Andrea joined us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is definitely a cultural aspect. And how about the people coming up and singing? How about that part of this? The wedding is going on, the reception is going on, and I'm going to share my screen right now because I have a picture. I want to show you on this.
Oh, I hope it's the one I want.
I think you'll recognize this. Hold on, let me see if this is the right one.
That was great. They didn't need that's.
There we go. You're going to recognize this.
Old-time guys like that just used to love to have fun. There he is. There he is.
There he is. Exactly right. There he is. So
my father loved him. My father.
So what he's
loved
saying, when he sings the verse, what he's saying, he goes over there, and then he goes over here, and then he goes over there, and then he goes over there, meaning that bouncing. He's saying in Italian that he's bouncing back and forth to different women. That's what
Right.
he's saying.
Right.
That verse.
Is he on? And he does the hand gestures and everything.
Yeah,
It means he's going here and he's going there. Yeah.
But
And
how many
then-
times have you?
The best is when his teeth almost came out. Are you kidding me? When he hit, the teeth almost came out. They came back in. Arlene, how funny was that? My father, he hit that right on the head. I said, what? He goes, Dean, to watch. I went, oh my God, he's right. Yeah.
That was the authenticity part.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. You know what? Think about it. Think about it. They did not cut that out of that movie.
No.
No, but I'm saying the guy's dead. I mean, that couldn't have been planned.
No.
That's what I mean. You want to talk about authentic? I mean, that was so authentic. They kept it in the movie. You think they do that nowadays? I'm just saying.
Right.
So,
but
going up to dance, yes.
Yeah.
Going up to sing, absolutely. My wedding, we had people going up there.
Yeah. I mean, like they're past now, but my great uncles fashioned themselves to be opera singers, and they'd go up and they would sing a song. I mean, and this was common. And every family wedding I went to, somebody was up there someone would walk up there and just join in and start singing.
Yeah.
So it really struck home with me, this thing. And you see, in this picture itself, you have the Vito's wife there. You have the baker in the back there. They're all in there. This is another part. Like, people are invited. People are invited to the wedding that are not just your family, right? People that are invited are people from the neighborhood, so to speak, right? The baker's there. The undertaker's there. I mean, the undertaker had a connection, but the baker's there, right? These are people that in a community, in an immigrant community, they were so integral to each other that they were invited to the wedding. The plumber, the electrician. You'd invite these people to your wedding. The mailman,
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Nothing. Not just underworld people. Just really.
Right. And the priest is in here too. There's a scene in where you see the priest is there. And we did this too. We invited the priest to our wedding, to the reception afterwards. Father, would you like to come to the reception? I mean, he didn't come. He had other things to do, but he was invited. And that, I think, is a unique Italian thing to do. I don't think that happens too often. I don't think you see that happening that much these days.
No.
Mine was. Father Al was at my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But
I didn't even know, we didn't even know this priest. This priest had just come to the church. We got married at St. Francis's Church on Bluefield Avenue, but he was new. He had just come in and we didn't know anything about him, but we invited him because he was the person that did the ceremony. We invited him. Yeah. That's what we do.
The priest was one of the four bodies we carried out at Dindu's wedding.
Oh yeah.
I got in so much trouble. She wanted to kill me. I can't believe you keep feeding him drinks like that with you.
That's great. Oh my God.
We had to escort him out that night. We had to help drag him home the whole time. Yep.
That's funny. So, so let's talk about. This is another thing that I've noticed. And I couldn't find a picture of this, but if you watch that scene, everyone is drinking homemade wine in this movie. It's all homemade wine. There's pitchers that were filled with wine, and they have peaches in them. They threw peaches in them, and there's the wine, and they're not drinking in wine glasses. They're drinking in like regular glasses filled with wine.
How about Clemenza? Paul, go do your job. He gives them the empty pitcher of wine to go get more.
Yes, right. Clemens is dancing, right? He's dancing. He's exhausted. Paulie comes up and gives him the pitcher of wine, and he drinks from the pitcher of wine, right?
Not water, wine.
Yeah, not water, right?
Not water. He needed oxygen. He needed oxygen and water. He's asking for wine.
She would say, Borku, out of the pitcher, at least get a glass.
Right. Right. But on each table, right, there's the pitcher of wine, and there's these little glasses that everyone's drinking and toasting with. These little square glasses. They're not wine glasses. They're very humble. They're humble people. You drank with out of whatever you had. There was no pretentious behavior. It was what you had. And these are people that have money, and they still at that time are humble. You know, they drink the wine out of a pitcher. They drink the wine with a glass, an everyday glass. That's what they drank with.
Yeah, no.
Now I tried to find examples of the food. I couldn't find any in the video at all in the movie. Like, they didn't focus on the food at all, other than the wedding cake. You don't see any pictures of the food at all.
The only food you do see is when Michael and his girlfriend sat down to eat for a minute while they were talking. That was it.
Nothing.
Right.
That's what I said, dude.
It's kind of odd. I would have thought that they would have shown more of the food, since it's such an integral part of an Italian wedding. I mean, we had so much food at my wedding. I mean, it's insane the amount of food we had.
Yeah, but like I said before, Ant, he just made it big and was coming off the ham and cheese type wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So food before was just you had to eat.
Right.
I think generations later made it such a, you got to eat till you can't walk. Thing,
right. Right.
Probably.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Times change. It's 1945. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing though that I did spot, and let me share my screen on this too. I want to show you this. Let's see.
Wait, while we're all over, how about, could you imagine going up to a photographer now and taking the camera out of his hand and smashing it to the ground?
Well, yeah.
And throwing him a couple $100 to shut up? Yeah, okay. They'd sue you immediately.
All right. Now, what's this right here? What is this right here in front of Sonny?
Oh, yeah.
They're at every Italian wedding. The huge tray of cookies. The huge tray of multicolored cookies. Huge.
That's when he was shaking down his gumati.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he was looking at her. He goes and meets her right after that.
Madonna mia. Yeah, look at with all the cookies in front of him. I love it.
Because he moved over a seat. That's where he puffed on a cigarette and then looked over at her.
Yep.
Oh, and in this picture too, you see the glass? That's the humble glass that everyone had. The glass at the bottom. Yeah. That's the humble glass that everyone drank and toasted with.
Yep.
That's great.
Those were the best wine glasses ever right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just the round ones. Small round drink glasses.
Yep.
Right.
My grandfather. Now that's all he drank out of.
That's amazing. Glasses. That's a great scene. That's a great still right there. Wow, I love it.
But those cookies, man, those cookies, I can eat those cookies until I get sick. I would just eat those cookies.
You got that right. Please. Oh, Sonny wasn't a bad boy, Marleno.
Who's that? Who's this? Oh, Arlene.
Wet and Wild is throwing a shot out there.
Well, yeah. Well, hello, Claudio. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, look, Sonny is Sonny, right? He is. How many people have we known like Sonny? Not the gangster part, but just the personality. How many people have we known like that? We know so many people like that.
Please.
No comment on that.
My ass off. How about that's the same thing when his wife was describing him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No comment from me.
Why would she be going the opposite way if it was you?
Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you.
Hey, ALV, instead of this way, she'd be going this way.
All right. I'll just point out that in the book they're much more graphic about that particular instance.
Are they?
They are.
Oh,
Yes.
Are they? Yeah, a little bit right in the book, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I don't get. I don't get it, but whatever. That's, I guess, whatever. It is what it is. But not really important to the plot at all.
I love the way you're tickling the algorithms right now.
Oh yeah, skating the line. Go ahead. Next part.
Yes. So let me see what else I wanted to bring up here. I did the cookies, right? I brought up the cookies. This was another thing I wanted to show you. Let's see here.
Yes, I did, Claudio. Nice.
TT.
Now here, check this out. What do we have Tessio holding in his hand? Yep.
Orange.
Yep.
Wow. That is great.
Who picks up an orange and peels it at a wedding?
Right.
He does.
Exactly. Well, every table, that's the other thing I looked at. Every table shot has fruit on it. Every table has fruit, a bowl of fruit.
But who does that at a wedding?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's hilarious.
Well, it's a backyard. He's in the back. If you're sitting in the backyard, would you do it?
Right.
I would. Right? You're sitting in the backyard.
Right.
Wow. The only thing different about that day is the wedding and the clothes, because that's what would be happening right there.
Right.
Culturally, that would be happening way back then.
We mentioned it before. I mean, and I think this is like the only scene where there's an orange present where no one is about to die. There's an orange present in every scene where someone's about to be, get offed one way or another.
Yeah, you did mention that before.
Yeah.
Or I think one of you guys did. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing good. Your flow is going good. The chat's going good. We're doing very good.
Yeah. Come on. I could keep going. I got a lot of things I could say, but I don't want to go past the part we're supposed to stop at.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
One scene at a time is what we're doing. Very nice.
This
is great. This is great.
Now, the other thing, and I don't know if I did. I don't even know. Let me see. I don't even know if I did this. If I pulled this still, I may have not pulled the still like I wanted to. Oh, here. Let me see if I can do this.
Okay, I did. So?
All right.
That was me. You said I lived across the street from Sonny. TT, be nice.
Not nice. All right. So now I'm going to show you a still right here.
Yes, this exact. My Nana's whole house smelled like oranges and tangerine peels, especially on Christmas.
Oh yeah, forget about. They used to burn the peels on Christmas. Yeah, absolutely.
Used to put it on the hot plate, right on the stove.
Yep. Okay. So here's the scene where Michael is walking into the wedding reception. With Kate. Now, this is what I want to point out here. She is the oddball here. She is the standout. She's the outsider, and they distinguish that. And look at her dress. She's a standout completely from everyone else.
Well, the hat's the dead giveaway. ALV.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The hat and the red polka dot long dress. It's like she stands out like a sore thumb.
Could you imagine one of those Sicilian ladies putting that hat on? They would kill you.
Right.
Gabish? At a wedding, put a hat on a Sicilian lady?
They definitely did a good job making her stand out as a metagami.
They make her look just like that Wonder Bread Wop.
And just think about it.
Absolutely.
At every wedding, at every Italian wedding, there's always at least one outsider that you have to explain things to. You have to explain what's going on to.
Absolutely.
They don't know it. They don't know it, right?
Absolutely, ALV.
100%. Wow, you're hitting all the points. You're 100% correct on that.
Yep. Antonella just said it. it'll ruin their hair. That would have been the first. You want to ruin my? You know how long I
Hot will
spent
ruin
on
their
this
hair,
hair?
yeah.
I spent an hour or 2 hours on this hair. Are you nuts? Oh,
Um,
hang on. I got to take a call. I'll be right back.
okay. Yeah, no, take your time.
Wow, awesome. Nice people in the chat. They're adding stuff. Teachers
Yeah.
picking up me. They're doing good though. No, they would never wear a hat.
Yeah,
So Antonella, I guess that was
I don't see
they really wanted to make her stand out, so they threw the hat on and the colored dress. Because as you can see, all the other women have conservative colors. You know, they have conservative colors on,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. And that sets up the whole situation where Michael begins to tell her about the family. You know, he right. He tells her the family business, basically. Tells her with the example of Luca Brasi. When she picks out Luca Brasi and says, there's a scary guy over there. And then that leads to the story, which reveals to her for the first time that they are a mob family or that they're involved in this.
Yeah.
And Michael says, that's my family, not me, right? Well, right there.
He had to bring her up to speed. He had to explain things to her. Not so for a lot of us, we just have to explain the culture. Okay. He has to do both. Go an extra step.
Right.
Cultural and wow.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that was good.
Arm distance made a good comment here. My grandmother would have been really nice to Kate, fed her nice, but as soon as she left, my grandmother would have said, get a nice Italian girl. Yeah, of course. Of course. You'd hear
absolutely that, right, arm distance.
Yeah.
Or you would have heard this one. What the fungu is he doing with her?
Yeah, right.
You know how they are. Come on.
100%.
What is he doing with her?
Absolutely.
Oh.
All right, so we have, and we also have Luca Brasi there, who we all know is
Luca.
Luca is Luca, right? He's the enforcer of the family, and he is such the enforcer of the family that he's surprised that he's invited to the wedding. He's really overcome with emotion and joy that he's actually been honored by being invited to the wedding. And that's when the Godfather says, is this necessary? Because he thinks Luca wants to see him for some type of mob business, right? But he says, is this necessary to Hagen? And Tom Hagen says, no, he just wants to thank you because he didn't think you'd be invited to the wedding.
Right.
You know, and the reason I bring this up is, you know, when he goes to meet with Don Corleone, he's choked up in his presence. He's choked up so much that he screws up his lines in the sense that he wanted to tell him he was thankful for being there, and he screws up his lines, if you notice that. And I don't think that was I think that was planned. I think that was planned in the script. I don't think that was a screw up by the actor. I think he did that on purpose to convey that he was so emotionally distraught and choked up that he screws up the line and says, I'm here on your daughter's wedding, and I forgot what the exact flip is, but he screws up the line.
Right.
And he says, I'm honored and grateful that you invited me to your daughter's wedding on the day of your daughter's wedding.
Yes.
And made the first child be a masculine child. I will leave you now, Don Corleone, because I know you are busy.
Massive respect.
Exactly.
Massive respect. Both men showed massive respect.
But that's great because he thought he was just being used as what he was used for. His job was the brutal job. And a lot of times the brutal guys are not so tied to the inner circle for obvious reasons. And he was really obviously scripted well. He was
could you imagine you're the guy's number one leg breaker? Yeah. Not only are you his number one leg breaker, you look the friggin' part.
Yeah.
When you walk in, now you know in your own head, if you're Luca Cabral, you walk in a wedding, everybody's going to be like, "Who the hell is this? Where is he? Where? We all know that. You know, some of those guys can't shake the way they look.
No.
Come on, who we fooling? Some of them will make you walk the other way when you're in their presence. Are you kidding me? But that's how Luca felt. So
the way
you noticed he was sitting all
felt so
alone.
honored because every time he was called, it was just to do work, and then now all of a sudden he's called for something of respect,
That's it.
Right.
which is great.
Yep. And the Godfather didn't forget. That's his number one boy.
Mhm.
You know, you better take the time out and talk to him.
Right. And what
I mean,
about
with respect?
and what about he says your daughter's bridal purse, and he hands him a check. Italians always give money at a wedding. No one comes with a gift. No one comes with a physical gift to a wedding.
Right. You're
And-
right.
Boost.
But if you go to non-Italian weddings, you will see gifts. This
Oh
is
my
this is
God.
this is something that was a shock to me, because growing up in an Italian environment, there were never gifts there. Everyone came with money. You paid for you covered your cost of your
Yeah.
plate, and then you added
Remember
money, right?
Yeah,
I went
we
to
even had
non-Italian weddings. There's gifts, physical gifts. I was like, what is this?
we have
What is this?
you just have a box with an envelope slot in it. That's it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
But
What-
the
what
the
about
boost
Paul?
goes right. The boost. Put the boost right in there. That's it.
Wait, what
Mhm.
about Paulie? 30,
Oh.
40 G's
Oh,
in
yeah.
that Fortunato if this was someone else's wedding. Huh?
Right.
I
Right.
mean, they know that's all that was being given was money.
Yeah,
Mhm.
of course.
Yep, that was great though.
All right.
Okay. I think I'm hitting all of my points of my notes here. The bridal
Take your
purse.
time. Take your time. I
Wonderful.
got time.
Wonderful.
Still
What we're doing.
early.
That's what we're doing.
Now, also part of the reception is the family picture, right? Which is what I put as the thumbnail here. And this is important because it demonstrates to the audience how important family is to the Godfather. They're about to take the picture. Michael isn't there yet. He refuses to take the picture. We're not doing it. Sorry, we're not doing it. And we're going to wait for Michael. It just shows the importance of the family. The whole family has to be there
easy.
for the picture to be taken.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I did not
And that-
like. I did not. The part that irked me was when he pulled K right into the picture. Okay?
Here, I'll share something with you. My
I didn't
father, God rest his soul, every time he saw that part, he'd say, "That goddamn Mitigan, you don't belong." He would like mumble every time he saw that scene. He would mumble under his.
belong in that picture.
Why did they get so mad at that? Mine too. I'm not going to
She
say
wasn't-
who it was.
She wasn't
Every
family
time.
yet. She wasn't family yet.
That's right. She wasn't family. You don't belong. He'd say, "You don't belong."
Don't belong yet.
I'll tell
But
you.
it's
See,
true.
some of the
It
old
is
time
true,
traits makes you
It's
shake your head. It makes me shake my head. Some of the old time traits.
Remember, back then the pictures were fixed. They were
I
done
know.
forever, so they can't edit out like we can now.
Yeah.
She might be gone in 2 weeks. She don't belong there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, that's what
Right.
bothered me a little
Right.
bit about it, because she could be a fly-by-night Metagon broad. Who knows,
I'll tell
Right.
you. You think it's something else.
Right. Exactly. He
Arlene's
brought her
like
home from the
she's an
war. Who
outside-
knows, right?
Arlene,
who
get rid of
knows who's gonna be there
outsider.
tomorrow?
Get rid of that dungo.
We're
Yeah.
analyzing and giving our opinion, so there you go, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think it's there for a purpose. It shows.
Yeah.
It shows. Here's what it shows to me is that they want to demonstrate that Michael is trying to separate himself from the family somewhat. He's trying to separate himself, and he's bringing what he wants into this. He's bringing something in, right? And then it's the whole dichotomy of how he ultimately becomes the Don, because he was so against it, right? He so wanted to separate himself, and then ultimately he becomes it. So I think that's the purpose behind that scene.
I don't want to jump ahead, but the future will tell you she didn't belong in that picture.
Now another thing is,
Oh, there he goes. Here he goes. He's starting already
yeah,
on
right,
the second
exactly,
show.
right.
That's for the future.
The hell with
That's another
K.
episode, but-
We know you don't like K. K, you know what, Stiggs?
He
Blow
knows
the
me
whole
well.
cover.
Now, also part of the reception is Johnny Fontaine. Johnny Fontaine shows up, right? Johnny Fontaine, who is the Godfather's actual godson, right? And he actually stood there up in front of the altar and stood for him when he was baptized. So a very close connection to the Godfather here. And he shows up, flies in from California to attend the wedding and does a song, gets up there and sings a song. Everyone's excited. It's a famous Hollywood star. I'm sorry. And then afterwards he comes to meet the Godfather, and Tom Hagen says he's probably in trouble. That's why he's here. It's you see like the little bit of reality there. Like the Godfather's enamored because his godson is here. He's so happy that he's there. And then Tom Hagen is the reality check. He's probably in trouble again. He needs your help.
What do you want me to write the check out for? How much is the check for, Godfather?
Well,
right.
He was going to be at the wedding anyway, but he came in for the favor also. Exactly. He was going to sing. He was singing at the wedding, right? Mm-hmm. Regardless.
Well, yeah, he didn't get the part in the movie.
Well, but he was coming to the wedding anyway because he was the singer at the wedding.
Yes.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that because the Godfather's surprised when he sees him. Hey, Johnny's here, and it's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know he was invited, but I don't think he was. I don't think he was planned to sing. He was invited, and they didn't even know if he would show up. I think is the issue.
And the Godfather's wife, Johnny, sing us a song. Sing us a song. She asked him like 2-3 times.
Gondola Gonzola. Yeah. Yep.
He wasn't planning on singing. If she didn't ask him, he wouldn't have sang.
So he was a guest then. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
He was a guest, and he was surprised that he came in
the interesting part. Yeah. And there's a part in the book that was left out completely of the movie, which is there's also another person there. There's also another singer there who used to sing with Johnny Fontaine before he became famous. And it becomes the subject of when the Godfather, and I don't know why they left this out. I mean, it's probably just because of time, but it's important if you ask me, because this guy used to sing with Johnny Fontaine, and basically the story is that Johnny Fontaine just drops him when he gets discovered, just drops him and goes off. And this guy is not bitter about it at all. He just hangs out and continues to sing on his own, locally. He didn't make it big. And I'm looking for the name in the book. I don't know where it is, but it's important. And Nino Valenti. Nino Valenti is the character. It's someone who was singing with Johnny before he was famous, and then Johnny goes off and leaves him. Now Nino was already at the wedding singing at this time, and then Johnny joins in with him, and they sing together at the wedding. This is in the book.
Right.
Now when he meets with the Godfather, when Johnny meets with the Godfather and tells him the whole story about not getting the picture, his voice has left him. He's miserable. He talks about how in the book he talks about how his wife is a slut. His wife, second wife, because he had left his first wife and married a Hollywood woman, a Hollywood star, and she turned out to be a slut. And it's sleeping with all different people and everything like that. So he's regretting his life, basically. It's more than just the picture, not getting the picture when he's with the Godfather. He's just pouring out his regrets in his life.
Wow.
And it's really, this is a really deep part that they left out,
Well, you know what?
Now, and here's why I bring it up. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I want to hear you. Go ahead, finish.
No, here's why I bring it up is because when Don, we all know when Don Corleone meets with him and he says, act like a man. If you're not a man who doesn't spend time with his kids, with his man, right? But in the book, he goes deeper than that. And he says, let's see. This is what he says, and the Godfather brings up Valenti and says, you left him, and uses him as an example. He's a family man. He's here. He didn't drop everything to go to Hollywood. He's here, and you abandoned him, right? And he says, and then he begins to talk about friendship is everything. Friendship is more than talent. It is more than government. It is almost the equal of family. Never forget that. If you had built up a wall of friendship, you wouldn't have to ask me to help you. Now tell me, why can't you sing? And he goes on. So he basically is schooling Johnny Fontaine on how he's turned his back basic morals of the Italian community, family and friends, and that's why he's in this. That's why he is in this situation he's in.
That's very interesting. That really.
So go ahead, Tommy. You were going to say something.
That really brings the Sinatra thing to light. The movie doesn't do it. The movie makes you guess. When you explain it like that,
right?
Yeah,
right.
Ava Gardner, and he had these women.
Ava Gardner, yes, yeah, yep.
She was a knockaround girl, right?
Yep.
And knocked around on him. Wow, that's interesting.
Yep.
And then he probably distanced himself, I'm going to guess, from Joey Bishop. Because that was he helped him.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. It could be, yeah.
That was the one he paid least attention to, which may have been his closest in the beginning. So when you bring the book part out about it, and then you hear about the Sinatra part about it, it comes together. Yeah. Interesting.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that part. You can act like a man.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yes.
So the book explains more in that respect. And
listen, the book takes you to another level.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yep.
I wish I could remember it.
Yeah, I pulled all the Sinatra story out of that when you just said that. Never knew about that part.
Yeah. Sinatra was a big part of that Johnny Fontaine thing.
Yeah, the part of the book that Anthony was just explaining really pulls that all together. Yeah.
And the movie was supposed to be From Here to Eternity. That was the movie that they speak of, From Here to Eternity, because that was the big movie that changed Sinatra's career.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. All right. Wow, good. See, we're learning facts. We're bouncing off each other. It's going great.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, it's all good. All good.
And then, of course, the wedding basically ends when they bring out the cake. They bring out the cake, which is like 12 feet tall. They bring out the cake, and then the Godfather dances with Connie. And then that's basically how the wedding itself ends there. Now, the other part of that's in the book that they completely cut out of the movie. Go ahead, Dindu. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
No, I was just going to say they cut out a part of the movie that's linked to the wedding. They cut it out, and they actually filmed this, but they did not include it in the picture, which is at the end of the wedding. The Godfather says, he tells Hagen, I want all my sons to come with me. We're going to go visit Jenko. And Jenko was the current consigliere, right? But he was dying. Yeah. He was in the hospital dying, and he wants his sons to go with him and visit Jenko in the hospital. Now they filmed this, and I've seen it. And if you search for it online, you could see it, but they didn't include it in the actual movie. But I think it's such a miss in not including it, because what this scene does, and I would recommend everybody go watch it if you can. Find it on YouTube or whatever and watch it, because Jenko's in the hospital and he's dying. And Jenko Olive Oil Company, right? That was the name, Jenko Olive Oil Company. But he was the consigliere for Don.
Yep.
He's dying, and as he's dying, the Godfather's there, and all he says, "I bring my sons to pay you final respects." He asks the Godfather to save him from death.
Everybody listen. This is great.
What?
Yeah. He asks the Godfather to save him from death. You have such power. You can save me. You can beat death from me. And this goes to the heart of the superstition that they brought with them from the old country, that he was so powerful that he could do this. He could save him. Go ahead, Dindu.
Let me add to that before I forget. He said this to the Godfather. Godfather, with you here, you here, you're so feared that you'll keep the Grim Reaper away from this bed while I'm laying here right now. The one
Right.
guy
God.
that could keep
Wow.
the Grim Reaper away from that bed to take him was the Godfather. Yeah. So I
That
just
is
didn't want to
crazy.
forget that, Anthony. Yep.
That's
He
amazing.
could put fear
You're right. No,
into
you're
the
absolutely
Grim
right.
Reaper.
Absolutely right. Yep. Yep.
Wow.
That's
That the
how
Godfather was so
strong-
powerful
how
that
strong they
the
were.
Grim Reaper himself. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yep.
can't believe that.
And
I-
in reality, when your number's up, your number's fucking up. That's it. Bonk.
yes.
But the
Yeah,
old
right.
Sicilians
Right.
were so strong
Yeah.
that was a second face.
I can't. That's
could live
amazing.
It
Mhm.
is.
That is amazing. Wow.
Yep. That's how strong they were. That's how strong.
Yeah. Now that's
They missed
obviously in
that
the book,
part.
and
That
like I
would've
said, they said they did film it, and it got cut, I guess, for time. But they did film it. So
Yeah, they did.
Fine.
if you, I would say go back and look online. You can find it. You can find it online.
Yeah, I think it's up there, Anthony, on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, they clipped it for time. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's hidden.
Yeah.
There
Mhm.
are scenes that's called the hidden scenes or forgotten scenes or whatever they call them. Yeah,
Right.
Right.
Stinks.
deleted scenes.
Deleted
whatever.
scenes. My brother
Which should-
found it at
Right.
with the deleted scenes. Yep.
Yes.
Wow,
Yep.
really? Wow, what a way to break it down.
So
guys.
it's just
That was
an-
great.
It's just an impactful thing. It's an impactful scene, and I think it was a bad move to keep it out. I mean, it
Yeah.
says so much about how powerful the Godfather is viewed by the people around him.
Right.
You know, that just
Right.
it says so much.
Right. And Stiggs, imagine you didn't know that. Imagine the 20 people
I
in here.
know.
Imagine the people that didn't know, that don't know about this. What that movie
Yes,
is about.
it's great that we're doing it. We're really breaking it apart nicely. Wow, I'm learning
Yeah.
at the same
Yep.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
I mean, you know what? I heard you earlier talking, Stiggy, and not to go off course here. You said something that you did a podcast 9 years ago.
My first one was 9 years ago. Yeah,
So you've been
As a
doing
guest.
this for 9 years.
I didn't know what I was. I did it 9 years
you were
ago.
just
My
went up
father-
there as a guest. You're saying?
Yeah, they wanted me on
Oh.
as a guest. They wanted me on
Okay.
as a guest. Yes, that was my
Yeah.
first dip into it.
Right. I was
Well, my
listening.
first
I-
video
I-
was 2011. My first video was 2011.
Yeah, you
And
wild
I
man.
took like 10
can't
years off.
believe your videos.
10
You
years
got
off.
16 years on your videos.
Yeah.
That's impressive, ALV. That is impressive. I mean, that's called
Is that
stamina.
the closing scene? Is that the closing? Of
Yeah, that's
that
the closing.
Scene?
That would be the closing scene. Yeah, because that's the wedding is basically over. He takes his sons to pay final respects to Jenko because he knows Jenko's dying.
Right.
So that would be the end of the wedding portion.
All right, so we did
So,
great with that. We did that. We
yeah.
did that beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
It
You
felt
guys like
perfect.
it. I hope you guys enjoy this. Yeah. I hope they all enjoy this. This will
Yeah,
get
so-
out there. This is going to start to pick up, Ant. You're going to see that, you
Mhm.
get views on it. We got 250 on the first one, which is okay. Something like
You
that.
got 20
Yeah, no, that's
people in
good.
here. You got 20
That's good.
people in here.
That's good.
Everybody smash the
Yeah.
like button.
It'll get there. Slow and steady.
And listen, thank everyone for joining and participating. In the chat. I know it's really appreciated because it is a discussion. It's really a discussion. It's a sharing of ideas and thoughts. So it's not worth doing if people aren't here. So I'm really thankful for everyone joining and just stopping in, or even those watching it on replay. When you watch it on replay, thank you for doing that.
You know what? Gina
we're gonna
had a
continue
very good
this.
comment. Gina had a very
Yeah,
good
go ahead.
comment. You can put it on the screen. I don't care if you cover me. It was the last comment.
Let me see. Hold on.
And I just want to hit on Gina. That's the problem. That's not a problem, but that is the mentality. No.
No.
Oh no, hold on.
Which one?
What is it?
What,
The one.
what are you getting
Go
at?
to the bottom. Go
When
to
she's
the
talking to
bottom.
Primo?
Primos. Yes, she says Primo.
What are we getting out of this, Stinto?
What am I getting at? Gina's like absolutely right. I mean,
Okay.
our Sicilian tradition and heritage, we have superstitions that outdo reality in
All
every
right.
aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Even
Yeah.
if we think we're totally nuts or insane, we will
Yeah.
go with them superstitions.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
yes.
is embedded.
Yes.
It's embedded in our heads.
100%. Wonderful.
I
Love
think
Yeah,
a
and I
lot.
think
I wish
and
I
I also
wouldn't think
think
this way.
superstition is also, it's also like a comfort, right? It's something that it's been with you your whole life, so you go back to it because it makes you feel comfortable, right? This is the way it's always been, and
Yeah,
yeah, no, I agree.
I live by superstitions. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, that's great. That was a great comment. Once you
Yeah.
explained it to me in that context, you guys know how I read. I read words. When you pulled it out, when you made it, explained it a
It's
little.
like the saying goes, "Yo, guy,
Well,
that's
a lot of people
that's
are liking this, and I really appreciate this. Everyone is like expressing that they enjoy this, which is great.
good."
That really makes it worthwhile doing.
Yeah, well, hit that like. I don't say it, but I got to hit that like right now. Actually,
I'll go back and hit the like when I'm done. It's hard for me to do it from here, but I'll go back and
Yeah.
do that, like my
Please
own
hit the
thing.
like. I never
Yeah.
really say hit the like,
Yeah.
but this is definitely an algorithm type show, and apparently, like gets you into the algorithm. I don't try. I don't do
Yeah.
any of that. I don't even mention it. Hit the like, but on a show like this, we would, appreciate that if you did it. But.
No, absolutely. It would be it helps us out, and the more people this gets out to, the better, because then they may join us next time. They might find it interesting and join us live next time. So
Listen,
I
guys,
believe
that's
anybody that was here today will definitely be here next time. And then as we post a little more, we'll work up to it. Like I did this morning, I posted a little bit. I did a short,
Guys,
and then I put the link under my short.
if we build it, they'll come. That's
Yeah.
what these recordings are for, so they can go fucking back and look at them.
The
We're
beautiful
not in the
thing
race
is
to
there's
do
so
anything.
many
We're not in the race
scenes.
to go anywhere.
yeah,
The beautiful
right.
thing is there's so many
Yeah.
scenes.
Anthony's been here 16 years with videos.
We're gonna
what
end up-
race is he in?
We're gonna end up with a 2-year series. You watch. You watch.
We
This
did
is
an
gonna go.
interview 9 years ago. I mean, we got our shit together. Don't worry about it. We're going to
Yeah.
go forward.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Everything takes time.
Yes. So, Dean, yes,
Absolutely.
my introduction to this platform was 9 years ago. I was a guest on a show called The Wise Guys Show. They're from Newark, New Jersey. They had me and Joe Giudice from Housewives of New Jersey on that night. And
They still do their podcast, right? The Wise Guy Show.
yes,
I think
they do.
still
Yeah.
do it.
Freddie-
Yeah.
Yeah, Carlos out, Freddie's handling it now.
Mm-hmm.
So they still do it. They do more real cultural stuff. Real time.
Yeah, and they interview a lot of people. They have a lot of
Yes,
guests
they do.
that come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's what
But
you
anyway,
can do
but this
one
was
week.
listen. This is fun. I actually look forward to doing this. I do.
Yeah, me
After
too.
the first one, I was really looking forward to doing this again with you guys. So I thank you guys for participating too. It's
ALV, you could have 1 or 2 people up on the screen asking questions and participating too. That's easy
Mhm.
to do. I mean, we can
Yeah,
answer
sure.
questions.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Someone's got a question or want to know something more about something. You got 3 heads here that could answer it probably for you.
Yeah, see Arm's comment, the gut feeling. Gut feeling. Same, yeah. Just like superstition. Yep.
Yes. Yep. Right.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Arlene, yes, he did have Vincent Pastore on. Yes. They did have Vincent on.
Nice.
I'm glad you watch it, Arlene. If you're ever in the chat, drop my tell him you hang out with us, so mention my name.
Mhm.
Say Tommy Sticks, Arlene.
Say it,
Wow.
Tommy. Drop my link. Mention my name. God
Just
damn
just
it.
tell them,
Say it.
I know them well, and they'll be happy to
Fucking
see
guy.
that. They'll be
Say
happy
it.
to see that. They'll be happy to see that. They'll be
Listen,
happy
we
to
know
see that.
we used
know
to,
him
I used to
personally.
play hockey. I used to play street hockey
Yeah.
with Freddie. So we know
Yeah.
Freddie. We know Freddie.
Definitely wouldn't be a promotional thing. It would just be like, wow, that's cool type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's nice. It's nice. Yeah,
Who
they're good
cares
people.
if it's a promotional thing?
No, we know them since we're kids.
Wacko.
Since we're kids, yeah. Because quite honestly, all kidding aside, if I wanted to promote, I could go into all of those crazy shows. I don't do it.
Hey, TT, how much exhaust fumes did he inhale while you were growing up? Did he
Oh,
play under a lot of power lines?
yeah. You guys are nuts.
Oh, I
Well,
got
anyway.
a couple personal questions.
All right. Well, I think
Listen,
we're good,
guys, thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great Sunday afternoon and a great week, and join us again next Sunday. We'll continue this as long as we have scenes to talk about, which there's a lot.
will.
There's a lot. So
We got 4 or 5 movies we can move on to after this.
We got
could
2
go
years
on
of
to
the
Godfather 2. We can even go to Godfather 3. We can
Yeah.
do whatever we want to do. Sure.
Excellent.
Absolutely. We could go to the Bronx Tale after this.
There you go.
You could do that too. Yeah. Right.
Good
All right,
stuff.
guys.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to call this quits right at this point and wish everyone a happy day. And as always, thank you for joining. Hit the like button on the way out. And, back tomorrow morning, Tommy will be on tomorrow morning. I think Godfather will probably be on. Dinda will be back in the afternoon. So we'll be back in the normal swing. So
there you go.
Hope to see you guys tomorrow.
Build the guild.
Build the guild.
All right,
yes, build the guild. All right, guys.
All right,
Thanks so much.
Love yous.
Bye-bye.
Salute.